Okay, this is tutorial 2 for the Ultra Real Basic Weapon System. I had to switch recording programs because the other one was just crashing on me, so hopefully the things don't seem too different. All right, so the first thing we'll need to do is we're going to load up a bazooka launcher model from the Unity Asset Store. So go ahead and download this asset. Let me find it and I'll show it to you. It's this one right here. And come get that and come back to the video. And all right, so now that we've got all this stuff, why did that go away? Now that we got all this stuff, first thing we're going to do is we're going to bring the M16 from the Ultra Real Weapon Systems folder here in prefabs. We're going to bring that out, and then we're going to reset the transforms on this because it's in an odd, wacky location. I'll probably zero those out before I submit the asset to the asset store because they don't need to actually be at. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and do that right now. All right. So we're going to take this gun right here and we're going to replace the model with the bazooka model. And the bazooka model is a little weird. It's got some issues. Let's bring that in. Boing. And first of all, it's off in an odd location to start with, and the transforms are all crazy. So we're going to reset them. Whoa, that's even worse. All right, so it's at an odd angle, which doesn't make any sense to me at all. But what we're gonna do is I first tried doing this where I took and rotated this around to try to get it to match the orientation needed. And ultimately, what ended up being easier was just taking the weapon system gun, since it had valid oriented transforms here, just take and rotate it around, scale it up. So you see that there's the handle and there's the handle right there. So they're like relatively the same size, and just kind of put them in the same space with each other like this. I found doing it the other way where you scale the bazooka down and rotate just was a disaster. It did not want to cooperate at all. Okay, so let's see what we got here. All right, all right, all right. Yeah, that's actually not bad. That's not bad. Um, it doesn't look like it's straight across like it needs to be, but let's go rotate that a little bit there. All right, let's see what we got. Does that appear? Eh, that's probably right about there. Yep. All right. So now I'm just going to take the bazooka model, and I'm going to rename it for simplicity to bazooka model or mode. All right, model. And then I'm going to open up the M16, and under the pivot, I'm going to take and parent it to the pivot, just like we did in the previous video. And I'm going to get rid of the gun model. Yoink, like that. And all right, and we're going to rename this bazooka. And then we also want to reset its transforms again now, because when we reset it now, pop, it'll go back to the actual accurate scale and not the wacky bazooka model scale. So now that we've got this all set up, and I was going to show you how to set all this stuff up from scratch. So I'm going to get rid of all the scripts on here. We're going to get rid of everything so it's all as if we just started from scratch. So in order for the rig to work, you need a couple things. You need, obviously, you need a root model or a root game object. You need another game object under there called, it could be anything. It could be whatever you want. The name doesn't matter. In fact, you don't even need this element if you don't want. But what this is this is the pivot that contains the animation that will make it go, and do its reload action. So there's just an animator on there that has, if we load up the controller, I wish I could actually see while we were doing it here. See if I can make that happen. So hit play, you see it fires, reloads. All right, so let me get rid of this interface. All right, so this bone just, like I said, just has the animation, and then everything underneath there is this is just the gun model. The gun model itself doesn't do anything. It's just a it doesn't have any animations or anything within it. Just sits there within this level, and then there's two empty transforms, empty game objects that just represent the bone location for the ejector and the muzzle. So this particular weapon doesn't have an ejector at all, so we don't even need it. We're going to get rid of it. In fact, you don't need a muzzle either, but you're not going to have a lot of weapon firing without a muzzle. So it's highly recommended you put a muzzle on there at least. So we're going to take and put this right here and maybe inside there a little bit because, yeah, all right, that'll work. All right, so we need to go back to the bazooka level, and we're going to add the basic weapon script. So we're going to go basic, or no, what am I doing? Basic launcher is what we want, the basic launcher. Now you'll see there's a lot of fields here. You don't actually have to fill all of them. You can actually get away with filling none of them if you want. Like if we hit play, there's not going to be any errors. It's not going to freak out or anything. This is because of Visual Studio stuff I've got. Those are just warnings. All right, so and it's by default it's playing the animations, which is not exactly what we want, but um, so let's start filling in some of this stuff. First off, we need an ammo, and ammo is a package we're going to learn how to create pretty soon. But for now, we're just going to use the underneath the weapon. Let's see, let's find it. Weapon system prefab under ammo. We're just going to use the tracer bullet ammo for now. We'll just dump that in there. And okay, and then for let's see, what's next? These are just shot timing information. We're not going to worry about that right now. We don't have an ejector, so we don't need that. We do have a muzzle, so we're going to take the muzzle. We're going to put that into muzzle. And a reload sound. We can use the ones that I got here. I think there's one called cocking gun. Right here, yeah, M16. We're going to put that in there. Misfire sound. I believe there's one called misfire. That's so when you're out of bullets, it goes click, click, click. And then let's see, ejector force. This is how hard it shoots the rigid body shell out. And I can show you how to make a shell too. It's pretty easy. This is also the torque, how much it might spin as the shell comes shooting out. The audio source. If you don't fill this in, it'll automatically create an audio source. But this might be in the case that you want an audio source that's separate from the gun, which is probably pretty unrealistic. But we're gonna go audio source, and then if we let it run, I suspect it will automatically fill this in. So let's give it a try. Audio source. Yeah, there it is. Yeah, it automatically filled in the audio source. But if you're really, anal retentive and you want to put that in there anyway, it doesn't make a difference. All right, the animator is going to be the animator on the motion pivot. So we're going to take the motion pivot and just put that on there. Now, it has to support these trigger names inside the animation controller. So if we go in here into the animation controller, you can see that the parameters have those names. So they have to have those names on them. And if I'm not mistaken, I think that's all we need to make it at least fire stuff. So let's give it a try. Now, right now, the weapon doesn't have any outside input, so it doesn't really do anything. I believe it'll just sit there. Yeah, really exciting. So we're going to take and add an input. So we're going to go, we'll use the basic input, I believe. Input example. Yeah, the input example, all it does is pull for, keys or the fire button and then just send information to the launcher. In fact, let's take a look at that code. Oh, come on. That's weird. The first time I run Visual Studio, it doesn't actually bring up the right script. There we go. All right, so we have this. This is a basic example. All it does is here it tests the fire. It's like it just grabs the launcher component and then it tells it to fire, and it also does a reload on the R key. So it's really simple. You can replace this with a different exam or different input system if you want. So I believe let's get it somewhere where the camera's somewhere where we can actually see what's going on here. So we're going to put the camera like right here, right there. And if I'm not mistaken, it should not exactly realistic for a bazooka. So we're going to take and make our own ammo. And that's going to be the next video.